Okay, so by the conversation, I'm thinking that you all learned quite a lot. And now it's time to learn some more and listen to Volker Birk, who's from pEp. He's going to be talking about online security, privacy. So without further ado, let's go over to Volker. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Volker from pEp. As you heard, I don't know how many people in the room ever heard of pEp. It's growing, but slowly, let's change that. Okay, thank you for coming. pEp is pretty easy privacy. This is, well, we thought pretty good privacy is already there, but unfortunately, most tools which provide you privacy are not easy to use. So is there a way to change that? So usually, I begin with the sentence what we are not doing. We are not another crypto app. We're doing something completely different. Actually, mostly in our project, we don't do crypto at all. Because what we do is we base on crypto, which is already good, which is, for example, GNU-net and GNU-PG and AppPGP. And then we try to make that working by default. That is pEp. So I want to introduce the idea of privacy by default. Just one step, we all know that, I think, that the situation we are in today when it comes to our data, which means it comes to the information about ourselves, which means our privacy, is not very good. Actually, it's more or less a catastrophe, right? So if you have a look on it, then, well, usually, if you don't pay the service, get it for free, there can be a reason for it, right? So that's the situation we're actually in, which is nearly everyone is just dealing and selling with your data. And that's how it is. And where's privacy? Basically, it's gone, and we want to conquer it back for all the people on this planet. How can that work? Well, unfortunately, we also know that we tried already. It partly worked, partly failed. This is what I call the X509 catastrophe. X509 is the concept behind a protocol named SSL, or new version TLS, which is basically HTTPS base. So this is what we're all using to browse the web, trying to do that safely, to keep our privacy. But unfortunately, this project is a little broken because there's too much trust for people. I'm not sure if you really want to trust them, right? And because I really dislike that some people are just narrowing this discussion always, we can mention some other guys who usually are well known to break privacy, and there's plenty of. This is an example from a list in Firefox. Whom all do we trust? You do. Maybe you're not aware of that, yet you're trusting such guys, but actually you do, and in my view, this has to stop. So, yes, basically all communication we have today can be compromised. In cryptography, we say is compromised even if it's not, but it could be. So you cannot be sure there's no security in it. So what can we do here? And that is the idea to add privacy by default. Privacy by default is not only about pEp, it's a concept. The concept is, well, today, if you try to use crypto tools, that means you have to adapt as a user to the crypto tool. You need to generate key pairs. You need to take care about whom you trust. You need to check if the right algorithm is used and things like that. I am pretty sure most users could, but never will do that, because they never will invest the time to find out how that works, even if they could. And so the result is there is no privacy by default. But we want to add that. How can that work? And the idea of pEp was created on a crypto party. On a crypto party, you teach other people how to use crypto tools. And the simplistic idea of pEp is write that down, call it a protocol, and implement it in an engine. So the pEp engine is not doing crypto. It's using crypto tools for you, the user. the right way, the way we teach it on crypto parties. So instead of you using the crypto tool, the pEp engine is using it for you, making things right, and you don't care. So if we ever can, and it looks good, we even will protect metadata. It's not so easy, you know? It's not only the content of your message, but to whom you send the message when. It makes a big difference for people who want to breach your privacy. Then they see your contact network, and sometimes you just don't care. For other situations, you may care, and you feel unsafe, because that's not a good idea. They shouldn't know that I have a relationship here. Everyone knows anything like this. And, well, that's the metadata. And pEp is also about protecting metadata. And we protect that by default. So the last step is then trust. Trust is a huge thing, because whom you trust, you should decide yourself. What we are doing is, I call it internally OFU, which is tofu without trust. Tofu is trust on first use, but actually that's not enough for having trust. Just at first I got that key, probably it's the right one. At least I can detect attackers which come late, but if I cannot detect attackers which come early, so it's part of a solution but not enough. So what we do is, we call it OFU, it's tofu and trust words. Trust words is the idea to use words of your mother's tongue, and if it's the same words, then you with your communication partner, then you can be safe that there is no man in the middle. Well, that's the only step you may do using pEp as a user. That is the only thing you cannot automate, because now you, the user itself, is checking if it's the right person you're communicating to. So that is the rest we have as a user interface. Nearly everything else is just wiped out. Privacy by default means your job is to write a message and press send. So that's an obvious slide here. I just have to add it that I can refer it. I think we all know that. Probably you heard about that. I mean Enigmail. Enigmail is partnering together with pEp. Enigmail is the crypto solution for Mozilla Thunderbird. And what we're just working on, and I have a demonstration on my laptop already, and it's now in the main trunk, you can download the source code and try yourself, is we're adding pretty easy privacy to Enigmail. That means the only thing as a user you have to do to have encrypted email, even starting protecting metadata, means, well, you write a mail, full stop. You do nothing. And all of it, the full key management and all the such complicated things, go to the background. You're serviced by the pEp engine. And that is where I'm very happy that I can announce this today here, that we have the very first version up and running. Well, still in development, of course. It's not a release. It's not far from a release. But let's see what we can do in 4 weeks. Maybe in 4 weeks, we have a product.